A royal expert said Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's approach as members of the royal family does not refer to the approach of the late Prince Philip. And speaking after this week's documentary on the Duke of Edinburgh, which includes Harry's significant contributions, Jonathan Sacerdoti warned against the behaviour of the Sussexes, particularly their controversial interview with Mr. Oprah Winfrey earlier in the year. Potentially damaging to the royal family as an institution. Prince Philip, the royal family remembers to air on BBC One on Wednesday night. Originally conceived as a project to mark his 100th birthday until the Duke of Edinburgh's death in April, the film features Philip's children and grandchildren sharing favourite family memories, family about him. However, Mr. Sacerdoti, a regular commentator on Sky News as well as a contributor to The Spectator, highlighted what he saw as a contrast between Prince Philip's 70 years of service and Harry's decision and Meghan to step back from senior royal duties and then move to the United States. And he suggested their public statement, because including the explosive claims of racism against an unnamed royal they spoke out in an interview with Ms. Winfrey, had serious implications with royal fame. Mr. Sacerdoti told Express.co.uk. Certainly, it is having some negative effects among other controversies going on at the moment. It's the one that's contributing to the rise increased talk of a resurgent republic in England. So I think they are not acting in a way that reflects Prince Philip's personal character in relation to the service and the royal family. I think it's a huge fear that what Meghan and Harry are doing could be damaging to the royal family, not just in the short term, in the months and years to come, but longer term as well. I don't know if I think it will work in it, and I think it would be unfair to say that their aim is to destroy the monarchy or to bring down the royal family or the concept of the monarchy in Great Britain, I don't imagine that's Meghan and Harry's goal. But can it have that effect? It can certainly contribute to a broader feeling or movement in that direction. The allegations of racism and bullying are extremely serious, and the way Meghan and Harry have gone through raising them is quite tempered, quite difficult and destructive in terms of actually addressing the issues, topics and categorize them, suggests Mr. Sacerdoti. The documentary really underscores what we already know about Prince Philip and reflects the thoughts that have been written and talked about since his death, and of course before and during his life, he added. And it's that he's a model of service in the royal family, has proven his ethos to serve the country from the top, marrying the Queen. And he is highly respected for the way he has carved out a role for himself as the monarch's male partner. There wasn't really a blueprint for the way he did it, and he created something that I think had a lot of support in Great Britain and around the world, and especially around the Commonwealth. Turning his attention to the Duke's grandson, Mr. Sacerdoti acknowledged, I think Harry did mention that in the documentary. Of course, the interesting difference between the two of them isn't just that he doesn't appear to be reflecting that behaviour of his grandfather's. But he also, to be fair to him, didn't choose to be in that position quite the same way that Prince Philip had a knowledge of it going in. So Harry was born into a family and didn't really have a choice in that matter, while Prince Philip chose to marry Princess Elizabeth, and I think one can, if one is trying to understand the difference between them. Let's say maybe Harry is trying to live a life of service right now the way he thinks he can. However, I also think it's worth mentioning that there are a lot of terrible obstacles against the way he behaves and the way he and Meghan are conducting themselves, especially in relation to family. Harry said of his grandfather in the documentary, Going to Afghanistan, he was very important and just said, "Make sure you come back alive." Then when I come back, no fearsome level of depth to the discussion, adding a case. Well, you've made it. What was it like? That's the way he is. He's a great listener. He sets the stage, so you can share as much as you want, but he will never probe. And have so many people commented that, Pardon me, did he not abide his grandfather of generational abuse? Now, he wants to appear like him. These two should disappear. Fear damage ? The damage that they have been allowed to do is already immeasurable and irreparable. The Queen has stood idly by instead of removing the ridiculous titles ages ago.